Hey everybody, I am here at the wetlands in Romeoville, Illinois, and I gotta tell you, man, I am surrounded by bugs. Everywhere I look, it's bugs. They're just driving me crazy.
And today, we're gonna get to see some of the smallest, most coolest, iconic cars you've ever seen. Hey everybody, welcome back to the next episode of After the Smoke Clears. My name is Levi.
And my name is Mark, and we are Car Guys. When you subscribe to our channel, you are gonna see some of the coolest cars.
Some of the fastest cars, some of the most classic cars you will ever see.
And the people who own them. On this channel, you're gonna learn a couple important things about the classic car market.
What's out there, what people are looking for. I'm even gonna give you some tips that I used when I bought my car.
We are also going to teach you about car restoration and making repairs to your own car. Every week, we will upload a new video featuring a car guy and his car. So if you're watching this video for the very first time, make sure you click the subscribe button right here in the corner.
Yeah, make sure that you hit the little bell to make sure that your notification is turned on so when we have a new release that you get notified. This week, we're going to interview a pretty cool guy named Raul, who's crazy about VWs. He has two of them.
And he's also a member of a Facebook page, vw.vocho Chicago Club. Make sure you check them out and give them a like. He's a member of this group along with a bunch of other guys who are interested in VWs. They got Beetles, they got bugs, they got minibuses. You've really got to check these guys out and do them a favor and give them a thumbs up.
Raul is a pretty smart guy when it comes to VWs, and you're going to realize this when you hear him talk about his engine and his heating system.
Okay, roll the car guy footage already.
Hello, my name is Raul, and this is my 1974 Super Beetle. Super Beetle, I love this car. It's my first car that I got maybe about 8 years ago. I got it from my father-in-law. He bought it many years ago. He had it in the garage, I don't know, in storage for around a couple of years, never really used it. My father-in-law, he also likes to work on cars a lot, so that's one of the reasons I kind of get a little more comfortable in the car. I think Beetles are more unique, more of a different car, different classic. It's not a hot rod, it's more of a cruiser. Anyway, to own a Beetle, you have to have a really good self-esteem. Why? Because when you get a Beetle, you either have the haters or the lovers. The haters, they get like, oh, what's that? Regardless of what it is, people turn their heads on this. Either one, because they don't know what it is. Two, it is just an odd-shaped car that has a unique aerodynamic shape all over. And also, these cars, believe it or not, recognized like worldwide. Pretty much, if you go anywhere in the world, in most places in the world, they know as a Beetle. As an example, for my job, I used to travel a lot for South America. And I clearly remember one time I was in Brazil, and we're doing our job. I'm working from city to city, and I see a car passing by, Bocho, and everybody's like, "What are you talking about, Bocho?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "No, it's and here they call it Fuscas." And then I went to Argentina, right? In Argentina, they call them Escarabajo. So I'm in Argentina and I see a Beetle and I say, Bocho. They're like, they're in their accent. They say, ¿de qué me hablas, chico? What that means is, there is the Argentinian accent. That means, what are you talking about, dude? I said, a Bocho. So like, no, that's not a Bocho. That is a Scarabajo. Scarabajo. What does it mean? Well, Scarabajo, it also means Beetle. All these top countries that I went to, same thing in Peru, Mexico, Chile, and some other countries, they have their own unique names. That's why, in my opinion, Beetles are awesome. That's why when you go to it, you love them or you hate them. In my case, obviously, I love them, right? Another cool story too about my Beetle. As you know, I have so many stories about the Beetle that I can be talking all day long here. But I know if this video continues for a while, you'll probably get bored about it. So let me just summarize a couple of things. Another quick story too that I remember when I was a kid. When I was in Mexico. Also, another cool story about the Beetles, I remember when I was a kid in Mexico. Where I grew up in a really remote area from the city. When I used to go to the city in Mexico, to another bigger town to get fruits, vegetables, or something more important, I clearly remember my mom, we needed to go to another location from where we were. So we had to take a taxi. We had to take a taxi to the other location, but the reason we had to take a taxi is because we had no time to come back to our home if we wouldn't, otherwise we would get stuck. Anyway, I got in the Beetle, and in Mexico they use these Beetles for a lot of services. One of them is a taxi. So in Mexico, they remove the inside passenger seat completely out, right? And the reason they do that is because it's a 2 or 3 passengers, so you call it a taxi comes in, open the door, you jump in. There is no moving around to get into the car. So I asked the guy, hey, where's the seats? Like, that is for to do it faster. What do you mean faster? It's like, look, I open the door, you get to the back and move on. If I had to sit in there, I will have to wait another 30 seconds or more. For me, the driver, the taxi driver, for me, time is money. So I don't want to waste any time picking you up. What is this? This is called a thermometer. I think back in the US they used them in I believe in the 40s, 50s, early 60s, when the original US cars had no air conditioning. So they came up with this thermocolor. What it is it's nothing more than cool air into the car. Since these cars they have no air conditioning, so what you do is you on some of them they have a little access point on the top, some of them on the back. You put dry ice on it, dry ice inside. Then what it does, it takes the inside air, circulates it back into the car, and that's how you get cool with the car. You get hot by the engine, you get cooled by the ice. The one thing I love about the Beetles is that everything is being used by the nature, meaning the only thing that it needs is just oil. The rest of it uses air, save the water. It doesn't use Freon, save the environment. I love my Beetle. Now I'm gonna show you the big engine. These things have power. You will not believe how much power this has. This car has around 60 horsepower. Yes, I said 60, not 600. Around 60 horsepower. Let me show you. Want to see? I got you. Okay, now I'm gonna show you part of the engine here, just the basics of the engine. This is also one thing that in my opinion, I'm really proud of this kind of work that I've been doing on the car. Shifting the story a little bit, when I got this car, I wasn't sure on which theme to go with, either to go with a vintage theme or put it like a futuristic kind of deal, a future car looking theme or a newer style theme. After a few months or so, I made a decision to, with comments and suggestions from other people, to keep it original as much as I could. By that time, it was a little late because I already modified, or actually no modifications, these are just dress-up equipment around it. It has the original engine, obviously was repaired. Put in this clear chromes around it. I have some LEDs that glow at night, really cool in my opinion. I think this engine in the back of the car, it has 2 combinations of the car. One, really vintage, cool look in the front. 2, on the back, it has a futuristic look. I get that a lot when I go to car shows. I'm like, man, I like that car, it's so vintage, but then when you pass by at night, it just looks like so cool out of the space. And that's why I have those LEDs on it. Based on those LEDs, that's why I like to drive this car at night all the time. Anyway, now let me go into details of the engine. Since everything is air-cooled, what you see right here, this is the air-cooled mechanism for the car to cool the engine. What it does is, inside here to the back here, there is a fan that cools the engine. The fan rotates, obviously, with the generator all the way around. When it's rotating, it is actually sucking air, is creating aerodynamic air coming through all the way down, sucking the cool air into the engine. Now, this is the coolant part of the engine that brings cool air down to the pistons. It has a 4-cylinder. They are side to side, and this metal right here, underneath here, is where you have the pistons, and those pistons are being air cooled by the fan right here, blowing air down. Now, what's this thing right here? Is it mufflers? No, but most people think these are mufflers. They say, "Oh, look at those mufflers. They go all the way from the top, then they go all the way down." I'm like, no, that's not the case. What it is this is air, cold air, or actually warm air, because on here when it's closed, everything's warmer on here. What it does is it blows air down into the over of the muffler. Inside the muffler, where the muffler is coming out, there is this tube. There's a white tube that is over the muffler. This tube is hugging the muffler. So the muffler is hot. This tube is over the muffler. This tube, it is blowing air. The hot air is taking advantage of the hot air of the muffler, sucking it back into the car for your heating. That's how you got hot air into the car. Now let me show you inside where that goes. You see it? Okay, now those tubes that I mentioned in the back, they flow all the way to the back, blowing the hot air from the engine into the car. That's how you have the heater into the car. Also, through the same area right here, this is a heating channel. What you see right here, it is the same thing. Hot air blowing for your feet, so you don't have toasty feet. One more thing that I didn't mention earlier on the when we went around the car. My wife literally surprised me about the car. She bought me this roof rack for my birthday. I think it was my birthday or Father's Day. I don't remember. Then she knows that I was looking for a surfboard because this is a California theme. Believe it or not, she got me this surfboard from Etsy website, and same thing for the Coca-Cola box, the air cool box, or what do you call it? Coca-Cola cooler. Believe it or not, people ask me where they got that from. I got it from Bath and Beyond. Literally, yeah. So. One quick thing about the Super Beetles. What's the big difference on the Super Beetles? There's a big difference if you are into cars. One of the main differences on these Super Beetles is the car, the spare tires is flat. On the regular Beetles, it's up and down, so you have less space for storage. So you got also the gas tank, it's a little more further inside, and the spare tire is flat for more space, so you can actually, when you go to groceries. Hi, my name is Raul Cisneros, and this is my 1974 Super Beetle, and that's why I'm a car guy.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed watching that as much as we did filming it. And I think it's pretty cool that these guys and girls are so passionate about their cars. Just like if they were Corvettes or Camaros or even a 57 Chevy. And from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, Levi, but if you're someone who is looking to get into the classic car market, starting off with a Volkswagen Beetle like we just saw could possibly be an affordable option.
Yes, Mark, that's very true in most cases. However, fully restored ones can be upwards of $30,000 depending on the customizations. You got rims, tires, paint job. Those are the kind of things that can really add up a bunch to your initial cost. I have a tip for you for people who are going to be looking for possibly buying their first car. My opinion is go buy a car without an engine and trans. Find a really good, solid, rust-free body frame. You can always pick up an engine and trans. If you can't put it in yourself, pay somebody to do it.
That's right, man.
Yeah, and I think that it's a lot easier to find an engine and trans than it is to find a good, solid, rust-free body.
That's a good point.
So when I bought my car, I went into a barn with a guy and found a rust-free 1965 Le Mans. The guy promised the engine and the trans to somebody already. And the crazy thing is, I already had an engine and trans ready for it, so it was a lot easier for me to have my engine and trans already and look for a good, solid, rust-free body and frame. And that's what I was able to find. Cost me a lot less money.
Well, that's some great advice, Levi, and thank you for sharing that. One of the things that I wanted to comment about was the restoration that this one guy did on his dashboard. I had a chance to walk around each one of the cars and film them independently and check out the interiors. And this one, I was so blown away by the dashboard, I actually asked my son Connor if he would do a special filming of it. And he did, and it turned out pretty cool. So I want you guys to check it out. So check this video out, and we'll be right back.
I hope you guys were as impressed as we were. That is one awesome dash, and what a great job Connor did.
All right, at the very beginning of this video, we asked you guys to stay tuned to the very end because there was an interactive section of the video that we wanted you viewers to be involved in. So, click on this information button just above my head and choose one of the answers to help me and Levi solve a disagreement.
Mark, we've all played this game as a kid. Whenever you see a Volkswagen Beetle go by, what do you say?
Slug bug.
Punch bug, Mark.
Slug bug.
It's punch bug.
Listen, it's slug bug. It rhymes. Slug bug. Not punch bug. That doesn't rhyme.
I can't wait for the viewers to come back and show that I'm correct because it's punch bug.
All right. Whatever. It's slug bug, but who cares? So, we're going to let you guys decide. So, like I said, click on this little button above my head. You get to choose either punch bug or the right answer.
It's punch bug.
Slug bug. Okay? And then we'll let you know what everybody picked next week, and then we'll decide what the right answer is. Okay? All right. So, speaking of next week, who are we interviewing next week, Levi?
So next week we're going to interview my buddy Bob. Bob has an orange 1966 Chevy Nova.
Wow.
He also has a 30s coupe.
Wow. So let me tell you this. 30s coupe, I mean, I love 30s coupe, okay? But 1966, anything, any kind of car, 1966, it was the year I was born. So anything, I'm down with that, okay?
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, last thing, we want to thank all the members of the VW Vocho Club Chicago for coming out and supporting us during the filming of this episode. Make sure you stop by their Facebook page to show your support. And while you're there, go ahead and give them a like on their page. I'm sure they would appreciate that a whole lot. So, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
On After the Smoke Clears.